If you're looking to mark your baby chicks, then this is the video for you, as we're going to use specific examples and show you how to mark your baby chicks, whether it's with wing punches or simple leg bands. Whether you want to do it temporarily or permanently, we're going to discuss the options, pros and cons, and actually how to apply the bands. So stay tuned for this video. Hi, my name is Eric Stromberg and I'm with Stromberg's Chicks and Game Birds. And so today we're going to be discussing baby chick identification. So this is when you want to be able to identify and tag your bird from baby hatchling until adult. And if any of you have ever tried to do that, you know that there are some challenges with that. And mainly those challenges arise when the baby chick is growing. They outgrow many identification methods. So we have some other methods that we're going to discuss today. And let's just dive right in. And the first thing that we're going to discuss is the leg bands. And we have three different styles of leg bands here. We have a numbered bandette, a traditional spiral bandette, and then a zip tie band. So these will work really well for identifying any bird. The challenge is because they are on the leg, is that the bird is growing and they can outgrow these bands very quickly. Now you really do have to pay attention when you're watching your baby chicks grow. You have to change out the sizes. Well, what we suggest here at Stromberg's is that you would purchase every other size band, and you would start with the smallest and go to your adult size for your bird. So in this instance, this is where I have a bandettes. They start at a size 5. So here's a 5, here's a 7, here's a 9, here's an 11, and just for an example, here's a 14. So if you're trying to mark your birds with these, you would buy every other size from the smallest size up until you hit the largest size. For chickens, usually that's about a size 11 or a 12, so you would just buy 5, 7, 9, 11, and then 12. So that's this style, and to apply these, you just open them up, kind of like a key ring, and then you just loop them back onto that bird. The nice thing about these is that, they have numbers on them, so you can identify that specific chick. Next option here are the spiral bands, and these you would be doing the same exact type of thing. Because they're leg bands, you want to buy every other size until you get to the bird's actual adult size band. So this would be a size 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11. And so how these are applied is you just open them up and put them around that baby chick's band. Once again, we gotta watch, make sure that they're not growing into those bands. Next leg band option is a zip tie band. This is just as simple as it sounds. It's just a zip tie, it's got a number on it. You zip tie this as small as you'd like. As you can see, it gets pretty darn small. Now the only thing about this is these ones can be really hard to remove, so usually a lot of people would use these in adult birds, but you can just clip them off with the wire snips, not that hard to do. Now let's kind of get into more permanent ways to mark baby chicks. So we have two options for that, one being a wing band and the next being a toe punch. Now a toe punch is just going to punch out a little spot in the bird's foot for identification. Not a very hard thing to do, but all it's going to do, punch that out, and it's going to show you, you can do different punch styles. There's 16 variations, as you can see by this chart, and it would show you exactly which bird was, whether you're looking at lineage or whether you're looking at different years of hatch. You just pick your pattern, and then you keep track of your pattern. You can download that graphic at Stromberg's Chicks and Game Birds to help you figure out which patterns you want to use. Now, the last method is going to be a wing band applicator. So what you would do in that case is it's actually piercing the bird's wing, and then these are permanent. Much like piercing a child's ear, you don't necessarily grow that much in the cartilage, so what happens is this doesn't get affected. This is it open, and this is it closed. You can see that there's a piercing portion that gets wrapped around, goes through the wing, gets wrapped around, and that permanently is attached. Now it's not a huge piece, it doesn't really hurt the birds that much, but it's just one of those things. If you want to be able to identify your birds, these are your two options for doing that permanently. So now that we've kind of gone over our options and maybe you've decided, we're just going to go through and just show you real quick clips of actually applying these bands to your baby birds. So stay tuned here, and we're going to get into some close-up footage and just show you how that's actually done. Thank you for watching. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to show you is we're going to take some baby chicks, and Cody's here to help me, and we're going to just put on some leg bands. I can assure you this is not too bad for these little birds. So Cody's going to hold the bird, and this is the numbered bandette, and we're just going to show you how we open it up, just like this, wrap it around the bird's leg, and the real trick here is just getting it wrapped, and you'll see it'll just memorize where it was at and it'll go back on. So there's one bird that we've banded, and we'll just do another one real quick just for an example. So here we're going to have Cody hold it. We're going to open it up. So here we are, we've got it open. And then you can see this band is just going to slowly return back to its normal position. It's loose enough on the foot that it's not cutting off any circulation and he's not growing into it, but yet it's tight enough that it won't fall off of his leg. Okay, so now what we're going to show you is spiral bands, which is pretty much the exact same concept, just a little bit different style. A little bit harder, but these are more like a key ring, but I'm still just going to open them up, wrap them around the bird's leg, and as you can see, once again, the band is loose enough to slide, but not so loose to fall off of his foot. So then we'll go for another one, and we'll do one more example of the spiral band. So once again, I've got it closed here. Open it up like a key ring. I'm going to put this around her leg. Close that guy up. Loose enough to slide, but not all the way off. So those are the spiral bands. Now next up are the zip tie bands. So now with the zip tie bands, you're going to put them on like this. And now the trick with the zip tie bands is you really do have to pay attention to how tight you're getting them. So you don't want to get them too tight. So once again, loose enough to slide, but not so loose as to come off. And what I suggest is you get a pair of flush cutting wire snips. Just go right here. There you go. And that's how you would apply a numbered zip tie band to a baby chick. Now, since those were all leg band options, what we're really concerned about with the leg bands is that they're always loose around the foot. You never want to have this bird grow up so much that it starts cutting off his circulation, because what will happen is it'll grow into the band, the leg will. So you always want to watch that, and that is the true weakness of the leg band for baby chick identification. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to use the toe punch, which is a permanent method of marking your baby chicks. Now they're going to grow up with this, and you're going to be able to tell which birds have been toe punched and which birds haven't. The idea behind the toe punch is you're going to be taking an actual punch out of the webbing between the toes of your baby chicks. So in order to do that, first off, we're going to show you a punch that was done about a week ago in this baby chick. So you can see that it's all healed up and ready to go. These birds are about 2 weeks old. So we're going to punch the other side. Now there's 16 different variations that you can do, and you can find that a sheet about that on our website. So here we go. We're going to slide this over, and you can see the webbing is in the toe punch. And all I'm going to do is actually punch this out, and I want to make sure it's all the way through. You just grab that little piece of skin, and here is the actual toe punched all the way through. So here's today's, here's a week ago. Now you will notice a little bit of bleeding on these baby chicks. But as you can see, they're up, running around, and good to go. So that's the toe punch method of marking your baby chicks. They'll grow up with that and you'll be able to tell which has been toe punched. Okay, so now we're going to go through another permanent way to identify your baby chicks until they're adults, which is the wing band. And so now what is the actual wing band? Is this piece right here. And what it does is we're going to crimp it towards this. So this is going to come down in the pliers and it's just going to crimp around, and this is what's going to hold it onto the bird's wing, and this is where the actual front of the wing is going to be. So what we're going to be shooting here, and here's a graphic of showing the shoulder and the wrist and the wing that goes between that, and we're going to be shooting right behind the web that goes from shoulder to wrist on the wing. Now here's an actual picture that's lit up and it shows the structure of the wing, and you can see here the webbing and that there's just skin behind that. So now let's go ahead and start to get our applicator ready. So what you want to make sure you're doing is applying this right side up. And so the pointed end goes here where this little hook piece is, and here this bottom piece where the dimple is. You want to make sure this is correct because this is going to be what's going to form the shape of the band. And so now we're going to take a look at the wing, and you can see here, here's the shoulder, here's the wrist, here's the actual wing here, and here's this webbing. So we're shooting right in the middle, and you can see the V here. I'm going to go right behind the webbing. And that applicator is just going to go on like that. And you can see that it's on the bird's wing. And you'll be able to see that the whole time because the bird's wing is not going to grow so much that it won't be there. And you can see this bird, although it did show a little discomfort, it's fine now. It's walking around just as though you got your ears pierced, right? And here's that wing. You'll be able to track this number. Bird 9890 was in this video. We'll know that as he grows into an adult because that'll be staying right where it needs to be. So those are all your band birding options from baby chick to adult. Thanks for watching. Keep enjoying those birds from everybody here at Stromberg's. Thank you.